On the left side of this screen is the typical houseplant experience: stagnant growth, yellowing leaves, and zero flowers. On the right is a professional flower shop anthurium, which continues to bloom despite the limited space of its pot. Many people assume their plant has simply reached its limit, but commercial growers use a specific management system to produce these results, a process that can be applied to almost any species, including anthuriums, cacti, and desert roses. This doesn't rely on synthetic growth hormones. Instead, it uses specific applications of ground cinnamon, crushed eggshells, and used coffee grounds to manage soil health and nutrient delivery. Simply moving a failing plant into a larger pot rarely works. To see new growth, you have to physically correct the root structure to ensure it can actually reach the nutrients you add to the soil. The first step is extraction. Carefully cut away the old nursery bag or plastic pot. Keep the root ball as stable as possible during this step so you can properly evaluate the health of the individual roots. When plants are left in nursery pots too long, they develop a structural habit that limits growth. The roots begin circling inward, coiling around themselves, and effectively competing with the rest of the plant for resources. To reverse this, you need to intervene with targeted root pruning to break that circular pattern. First, massage the dirt away from the root ball to expose the structure. Then, using a pair of scissors sterilized with alcohol, slice away the bottom layer of tangled roots that have begun to bind the plant. This diagram highlights the difference. An inward coiling root system restricts the plant's ability to reach moisture in new soil. We are aiming for a structure that radiates outward, allowing the plant to expand into the edges of the pot. Be precise with your cuts. Do not remove the deep internal roots. Focus only on the peripheral bindings on the very outside of the root mass. Severing these external loops removes the physical barrier to growth. Once replanted, the plant can begin directing resources towards new lateral roots that are better equipped to absorb water and nutrients. Next, inspect the leaves. Any yellowing or damaged foliage is a significant energy sink. The plant continues to send nutrients to these dying sections in an attempt to maintain them. You should snap or cut off these failing leaves. This allows the plant to redirect energy towards developing new growth and flower buds. While pruning the roots is necessary, the fresh cuts create an entry point for soil-borne pathogens. Without protection, these wounds can lead to bacterial or fungal infections. To prevent this, mix a pinch of ground cinnamon into 1 liter of water and submerge the pruned roots. Cinnamon contains natural compounds that inhibit fungal growth. Let the roots soak for 15 minutes. This provides hydration, while the cinnamon creates a protective layer over the cuts, securing the plant while you prepare the new soil mix. This epiphyte ratio uses equal parts potting soil, pine bark for aeration, and worm castings for organic nitrogen. For other plants, adjust the bark down to half. They require drainage, but less root oxygen. After mixing your substrate, you can confirm the drainage quality using a simple squeeze test. Squeeze a handful of the damp soil into a ball. When you poke it, the clump should immediately fall apart. This indicates the soil is light enough to allow water to pass through without compacting. In your new pot, place a single square of paper over the drainage holes. This prevents dry soil from washing out before the roots have a chance to anchor. Add a thin layer of expanded clay over the paper, followed by your prepared soil mix. The paper eventually dissolves, but by then, the clay and aerated soil have created a path for water to flow freely. This prevents the stagnant water that typically leads to root rot. Lift the plant from the cinnamon soak and place it in the pot. Most pots have a fill line below the rim. Ensure your soil doesn't exceed this. This leaves space for water to pool and soak in completely. Now we add the organic amendments. On the left side of the soil, dig a small hole and bury 1 spoonful of dry, crushed eggshells. Eggshells act as a slow-release source of calcium. This mineral is used by the plant to strengthen cell walls, making the foliage more resilient against heat and pests. On the right side, bury a spoonful of dry, used coffee grounds. This provides a low-level supply of nitrogen as they break down, supporting new leaf development. Keeping these materials on opposite sides ensures the roots grow outward into separate feeding zones, creating a more expansive and robust root network. To finish, pour the cinnamon water you saved over the soil. This settles the dirt around the roots and begins the decomposition of the eggshells and coffee grounds. Follow this with fresh water. ensuring the entire root ball is saturated. You should see water flow out the bottom drainage holes within seconds. Finally, keep in mind that blooming is an energy-intensive process. For these amendments to work, the plant must have access to bright, indirect light or morning sun. Correcting the root structure and providing a consistent supply of organic nutrients and light creates the conditions for a plant to bloom reliably year-round. Tell us your city and country in the comments, and share this protocol with anyone looking to improve their plant care results.